Hey everyone, Theo here. Today I'm going to review the MagFit docking station for the Mac Mini. First of all, disclaimer, these are sponsored products from MagFit. However, all the opinions in this video are my own. I'm just going to present to you my findings and you can decide whether or not these are worth the money. I will make a separate review for this vertical docking station, and when the review is up, the link will be in the video description below. This docking station is US $69 and this is US $179 at the time of this review. Alright, let me give you the bottom line up front. I like the design of this docking station. It looks good. Just make sure you get the same color as your Mac Mini. The build quality is solid. This is a very functional design where the docking station can be stacked on top or below the Mac Mini, and this will give you 4 USB Type-A ports and the SD card reader. The downsides, the transfer speed is just USB 3. The transfer speed I was able to get with the Samsung T5 and T7 external SSD is around 300 to 350 megabytes per second. I wasn't able to get the NVMe SSD inside this enclosure to work because the USB ports on this docking station are not able to provide enough power to power this, and I'm very sure they will not be able to power those mechanical spinning drives as well. You can install a SATA SSD inside the docking station, and the transfer speed I was able to get is around 350 to 380 megabytes per second. Another downside or limitation is there are no USB-C output ports. So this USB-C is to connect to the Mac Mini. There is no USB-C for file transfers or video. Between these two designs, this design is actually very common, so it's very easy to find another brand selling the exact same design with the same ports and same specifications. Vertical stands for the Mac Mini are very common. However, vertical docking stations for the Mac Mini with ports, that's less common. And the main difference between this versus the flat docking station is there is full-size HDMI output, there is Ethernet, there is power input, and the transfer speed for the USB Type-A ports here are USB 3.1 Gen 2, 10 gigabits per second. There's also the SD card reader. Because this is powered, it will be able to power USB devices that require more power, such as external spinning drives. By the way, there are magnets, so be very careful when you're using spinning drives near this docking station. So is the vertical docking station worth more than 2 times the price of this? Well, it really comes down to the features you are looking for. Alright, on to the full review. These are the items included in the box. There are 2 pieces of foam for padding the SSD. These are 6 screws for securing the cover beneath the SSD and a very small screwdriver. This is a USB-C to USB-C cable with an attached USB Type-A adapter. The docking station comes in 2 colors, silver and gray. This is the gray one. I'm not sure if that is the logo of MagFit. Anyway, the surface area is the same as Mac Mini, so you can use this either on top of the Mac Mini or below the Mac Mini. You can see the obvious color mismatch here because the company ran out of the silver version when they sent me this. You can use the docking station either on top or below the Mac Mini. There are pros and cons to each deployment. When you use the docking station on top, because this is so lightweight, it's made of metal, aluminum alloy, but it's lighter than I expected. So when you have this on top and you want to connect a USB device to it, you can see it pushes the docking station backwards. I actually prefer to use the docking station on top because it's easier for me to connect my USB devices or the SD card. I just have to press down and connect. And you may notice it also moves. That's because the Mac Mini doesn't have grip on the table. This M1 Mac Mini doesn't produce much heat, so I'm not too worried about heat dissipation with the docking station stacked above it. If you want to use the docking station below the Mac Mini, you can use one hand to connect your USB devices and the docking station is not going to move. When you insert the SD card, the docking station will not move as well. The downside here is because the ports and the slots are so low, it's not as easy to reach them compared to the ports being on top of the Mac Mini. There are only USB Type-A ports in front, and that's a full-size SD card reader and a micro SD card reader. These two are USB 2, so the transfer speed is very slow. It's about 20 to 30 megabytes per second. I do not recommend you use these two for file transfers. These two, the blue colored ones, are USB 3 with transfer speeds that are 10 times faster than USB 2. I'll talk more about the transfer speed later on. That's the power and drive activity light. On the back, there's just one USB-C for connecting to the Mac Mini. The speed is USB 3. There are no ports on the sides. On the bottom, we have 4 rubber feet with very good grip on the table. This is plastic, whereas the top and the sides are made with metal. So this is the cover for the SATA SSD compartment. Installation is very straightforward. This is a 7mm thick SATA 3 SSD, dimensions 10 cm by 7 cm. So to install this, you just push this in and push it in, and you can put the foam padding here. I'm not going to remove the sticker yet, and put the cover back on. MagFit actually sells another version of this docking station that can hold a SATA 3 SSD together with one NVMe SSD. That is $145. The docking station can be powered by the Mac Mini, so you don't need to attach another power source to the docking station. However, there are some limitations due to not having external power to this. So let's test the transfer speeds. In order to save time, I have compiled this table with the transfer speeds of various storage devices that I've connected to the docking station. By the way, the theoretical speed of USB 3 is 600 megabytes per second. The main takeaway points are the transfer speed for the SATA SSD is noticeably faster compared to the external SSDs. For some reason, the transfer speed for the Samsung T7 is noticeably lower than the Samsung T5 when connected to the Mac Mini via the docking station. But when I use the docking station with the M1 MacBook Air, the Samsung T7 and T5 transfer speeds are comparable. From these results, it's clear that if you want the fastest transfer speed, you should go with the SATA SSD. The SATA SSD, Samsung T5 and T7 are all able to edit 4K UHD 60 FPS videos. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to use the NVMe SSD inside the enclosure because the USB port could not provide enough power to power the enclosure. The NVMe SSD works when connected directly to the Mac Mini, so that's the downside of having a docking station that's not powered by external power. Those portable Samsung SSDs do work without problems. Right, to conclude, for the price of US $69, I do feel it's reasonably priced considering this is actually an enclosure for SATA SSD and it comes with USB ports and the SD card reader. The limitation, of course, will be the transfer speed of USB 3 and the lack of USB-C output ports. And because this is not powered, it may not work with certain external drives, such as spinning drives, and in my case, this NVMe SSD inside the enclosure. The main selling point of this docking station for me is actually the ability to install a SATA SSD to expand storage capacity. So you can use this for backup, and the transfer speed of 350 to 380 megabytes per second is actually still fast enough for editing 4K UHD videos. MagFit actually sells another version of this docking station that can house the SATA SSD and one NVMe SSD. That docking station is more expensive. And if you go online, you may be able to find a docking station that looks like this that supports faster transfer speeds up to USB 3.1 Gen 2. However, those docking stations are not common. For some reason, docking stations like this for the Mac Mini, they usually come with USB 3 transfer speeds. So you can decide whether or not this is worth the money based on the findings I have presented. And if you have the intention to buy this and you want 10% off, you can use the coupon code that I have for you in the video description below. Thanks for watching this review. I hope it's helpful. See you guys again. Bye.